Wow. Sylvia, look at it in the picture. In the phone. Wow. Sir, it's me more Rubium. Let's dive right into it. So in this section, after the call with the client or consultation with the client, I try to sketch what she wanted, how she wanted things to be covering up, how we wanted things to blend and stuff like that. And here in this section, I'll be using a two set of kente, a plain and a pattern kente. Yes, so this was what the final sketch was, and I sent it to her. She approved it, so production started. Here in this section, I always make sure that patterns are drafted on brown paper just so I can save the person's kente or fabric. It's always nice when kente fabrics have longer tails. If you're working on a tail, you make it extra longer. If it is a normal one, you just go by that. So I try to save all the fabric so that the kente tail would be quite long enough. And we wouldn't buy that much of kente, but yes, still we would have quite a long enough tail. This is because I try to save all the pieces that can be saved so that it can reflect at the tail. Hexagon kind of shape at the slit is actually where the special plain kente will be. So that was what I cut. And here we were working around the tail of it. So that is what I said in the earlier video, in the earlier section. We save all those pieces so we could have quite a clearer, nicer, coordinated back train. Yes. And hey, if you want to learn how to sew kente or you want to upgrade yourself, learn how to sew kente, corset kente, wedding gowns and everything, admissions are still in progress. This was one of our students. With us, we actually make sure that this is a hands-on practical section. Okay, understanding it, coordinating it, manipulating it to get to where you want to get to is what you are being taught. So this was the back of the train. Yes. This is how the back of the train looks like after we were done cutting it. Yes, like I was saying, if you're a student, you learn the best. Here in this section, I wanted to start the whole sewing process so I could just add them together and make sure I get what I was getting at. So here was a little behind the chain. The hair was a little behind the scenes of how I actually feel my bobbin. So here you go. But hey, subscribe for more amazing videos like these. Don't forget to like this one and enjoy all the playlists you see in the description. If you want to be our students, our doors are always open. We have 6-month courses for upgraders. We have 1-year courses for beginners. We have 1-year 5-month courses for beginners, depending on what your schedules are. Do you want to have a weekend class? All these sections are in place. So kindly send us a message on our WhatsApp link to learn some new things. It's always a must for a designer to upgrade themselves all the time. Learning is something that you can never stop doing, and make sure you are learning from someone who is willing to teach you the best and nothing but the informative sections. Okay, so here in this section, yes, joining of the kente pattern that we have cut was being in section. So this was the plain section attached to the pattern section. So here it is the middle section that we are at. So here we are attaching the pattern to the plain fabric, and this is how it was looking like. Yes, if you could see how the pattern and the plain is actually blending together. Yes, this is how we can see it. I would always advise you that you have to make sure that your kente patterns are being cut on brown paper before you move to your kente. It just helps you to manipulate and get perfect ones. And hey, you can sew without ironing. Ironing makes and gives a huge differences to your project. And here in this section, I was actually cutting my inner lining, which I use satin for, or any other fabric you think will be fine to be your lining. You are good to go. Okay, if it all depends on you, the designer, or you, the person working around it. So that was what I used here. And hey, here in this section I attached the crinoline to it, or some also call it corset. It kind of gives it volume at the tip of the kente. It kind of makes it quite stand out. It makes it actually stand out at the tip of the kente, or many dresses and gowns. When these are attached to it, it gives such a beautiful standout effect. Here in this section, I was actually working on the front bodice. Okay, this is how the pattern, after the pattern was being cut, this was how it was looking like. Yes, I always cut my patterns before I work on them, so that it would save me a lot of kente. Okay, yes, here in this section I knew for sure that I had used most of my kente for the tail of the gown, so I was manipulating the kente I had available so that it would work out perfectly. But I have been sewing for quite some time, so I do know how many strips that would work for a bodice with someone with a bust of 36 or a waist of 28. So I actually knew the amount that would work around it. But sometimes I try my best to save fabric as much as I can. Here in this section as well, I was making sure I was getting the lining for the upper bodice. Okay, the corset up, the upper section, which was a corset. It was a corset, but it was zipped. She wanted it to be zipped. She didn't want lace. She wanted it to be zipped, so I had to make sure that I did my corset cutting, stiffed it, and I had to stiff it. So all these sections are actually me sewing them together, the patterns together, to make a full corset bodice. Yes, this was how it was looking like. So I actually pad my mannequins to the person's measurement to know for sure that when she comes there will be no alteration. The sequence to the bodice. I do my beading after the clients have come in to visit. Everything is on point. All alterations are being done, and everything is good. This was her last season with the ambition and the theme. This was the final look of the king. Okay, congratulations to Sabby. Thank you very much for standing with your feet. It's been quite a journey. She's been in the client for over like 3-4 years when I was starting out, like a complete YouTube university student. She was always there all around. Thank you, Sabby. Much appreciated. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your family and friends. Kisses. XOXO.